What up, everybody? I'm doing this YouTube video. Hey, I'm Marcus Watag. I've been photographing since 1999. Yeah, 1999, but not Prince. Been photographing since 1999. I've been doing this since film. Um, so I'm not new to this. Um, I never depended on digital software to make sure I had my images on point. Um, Shooting with film, you had to get it right in camera. So when you took the film down to have it processed, it just had to be right. So I'm coming from that kind of a world. Now, this right here is a shocker to me. It just made me just go back and pull up all my old camera raw files, my raw files, because this was a shocker to me, man. It just blew my mind that I've been depending on a software to produce high image quality when I've been doing it wrong all along. And this right here is going to stir up the YouTube world. Um, but first of all, let me give you a brief overview of what we have here. Um, I was shooting with the Canon Mark II. Sorry, the Canon 6D Mark II. This is a studio shoot here. I was using two strip lights, one large one and one small, to get this effect. I was shooting at an f 7.1, one 1/60 of a second. My ISO was at 100. Okay, so I just want to give you a brief overview about the settings and the equipment I use. The lighting system, I use an old lighting system with Godox. Is the I want to say it's the DE300. So I use that, um, and I've been using that studio light system for a very long time. So I do have some other equipment that I use um, as well. So flash points, oral lit, I use that as well. So um, let me get into this because this right here is a shocker, and this should put an end to all of the complaints that I've been listening to on YouTube about uh, Canon cameras, or just about any camera. Um, what I found was I've been using um, the Adobe software to process my images when I actually should have been using the software that came with the camera. So I am going to show you a comparison here. And I noticed that on YouTube, everyone is saying the same complaint about the Canon 6D Mark II. And they're repeating the same thing, like they just listening to each other just to create a YouTube video so they can get some likes and a big hype. Um, my rule is when you buy a camera, stay away from the commentary and complaints. Go use that camera and see if it works for you. When you produce those images, if your clients are happy and your customers are happy, that's all that matters. Okay, all this high tech talk about cameras, uh, nobody really cares. I've seen people use some expensive equipment and got some terrible results. I can use that same equipment and get the same results that I get with the equipment that I don't spend that much money on. Okay, hint hint. Point made. Um, is either you're good at what you're doing, or you're not. That's just what that is. So let's get into shutting down this YouTube talk, America, the world. everybody went in hard on this Canon 6D Mark II. And I would tell you now, I done had the 70D, I done had the 80D, and those cameras do not produce better image quality than the Canon 6D Mark II. Now, before you get stirred up over that, those cameras do produce good image quality. Okay? Enough said. So you're gonna get good image quality out of a lot of cameras, but in comparison, um, the crop sensor is not gonna outdo the full frame. That's why it's a full frame, and that's why they have you pay more for the full frame. So if you're just getting started, jump into the crop sensors, man, and get yourself going, get your clientele up, get your customers up, and get your clients up. And you want to move to something full frame, then find a full frame. I mean, I had the Sony, and the reason why I don't use the Sony anymore, this is just my opinion with it, is that a lot of times when I was photographing, it looked good on the screen, but when I got to the computer and started processing my images, I noticed that some of the focal, the sharpness was off to where I thought I had it here where it showed on the camera, but and you're looking at it, you think it's good, but then you get to the screen, is a whole different thing. So the battle with this is that with my Canon Mark D6, my Canon 6D Mark II, and all my other cameras, when I was taking the photo, I look at the camera and I'm like, man, that image looks good. But when I was processing it on the computer, it didn't match the way it looked in the camera. Now I see why. Now, let's compare the software. Um, Lightroom and Adobe Camera Raw 11.1 is just the software of choice when it comes to processing images, but there is a problem. Adobe is considered a third-party software. Use the software that comes with the camera. And I'm going to show you why. Look at these two images. This is right here. This is Camera Raw 11.1, what everyone has, and it looks the same in Lightroom. Okay, see how watch? And I'm gonna show you. This is not a trick. Same settings. 7.1, 160 of a second, ISO 100. I used the 85 millimeter. That was the 85 was the art lens. So I had a good lens, but I'm looking here, and it's not the same. It's like the Adobe software removed a lot of the details in the image. Look at it. See how? And then I went in here and I did the white balance to flash. Okay, this is what it was. This is what it looked like in camera. See how washed out it. Even no matter how I change the settings, auto, whatever you want to do. I'm gonna go back to flash. It's a little washed out, and the details are washed out. But when I finally went to the today, something just said, "Hey, there's software that comes with this camera." I just started looking through the box, and it said, "Hey, use the Digital Photo Professional software when processing your images." So I did, and today I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go back and reprocess all my images so I can get that detailed look that's been missing out of my images." Now, let's compare. This is no joke. And I hope, I'm looking at two different screens, so it has two different colors, so it should show up good in YouTube as well. Look at the details here around the nose. You can see it stand out real good right here. See that right there? Look at the details. Notice how the details is smoothed out and washed out. right here. So it seems like to me that the Adobe software kind of didn't recognize the details that was in the file and compressed the file to its understanding. But what I noticed with the Digital Professional 4 software that comes with the camera, it remembers, it looks exactly how it looked when I was looking in my camera when I took the shot. Exactly how it looked when I was tethering it to my tablet to make sure my images was coming out correctly. Digital Photo Professional 4 shows the image quality. Camera Raw in the Adobe software removes the image quality. You see it? I mean, it's not a joke. Look, threw me off. I mean, it's the same image, I promise you. You're looking at it. See? File 7317. Same file over here. 7317. See? .cr2, .cr2. Wow. This is enough to stir up the YouTube. I noticed that everyone has been complaining about the cameras have been processing the images in Lightroom, and when they compare the quality of the image, they're using Lightroom and they're using Camera Raw. Now I'm comparing the images for you, not with different cameras, but the image from the same camera. And what you notice is there is something wrong with the Adobe software processing the image. There's something wrong. I mean, and here's the big cry that I've been hearing, like the details. So I'm gonna show you this shirt here. See the details in this shirt? Give it a second. That's gonna load up. And what I need to do, I'm gonna jump over here to this software. Let me get down to the shirt here. Okay, let's compare the shirt details. Look, there's more definition. You can see the shadows in the lines with the digital photo professional 4 than you do with the Adobe software. There's not that much detail in the Adobe software. What happened? What did Adobe do to get rid of the details in the file that was coming directly from the camera? And this is supposed to be camera like raw. These are raw images. So what happened? The Adobe is not processing your raw images fully. It's only processing enough information that it can understand, where the Digital Professional 4 is processing the images just like it is in camera. So to get the best results, no matter what camera you're using, use the software that came with the camera. That makes sense to me. Use the software that came with the camera, and you will get the higher results out of your images. Now, you see it. This is not a trick. See, this is not a trick. And another thing. Oh, I need to note that I'm using the what is this called? Hold on. I mean, this is the OBS 22.0.2 at 64-bit on Windows. So that's 64-bit. I'm using my home computer, and I'm using this high quality HP screen here. So there's no joke here. There's no tricks. I'm not getting paid for this. Canon didn't tell me, hey, can you go online and prove different? I didn't try to go online and prove anything different. I went online and I'm showing you this online right here on my screen. I mean, it's sitting right here in front of us. You're smart. You're smart like I am. It's not recognizing all the colors like it's supposed to. It's not recognizing the detail like it's supposed to. So Camera Raw, I'm done with it for the rest of my life. I'm only going to process my raw images in the software that came with the camera. That's how you get the best results. Now, can I close the Adobe out now? Can you say yes? So let me get into the software that I use right now with the Canon 6D Mark II. And boy, I'm gonna go pull up all my old raw files, man, and I'm gonna redo some things because man, I done made a mistake. I'm just being honest that the higher quality doesn't come from Adobe. It comes from the software that comes with the camera. Now, let me show you what you need to do from now on. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't use Photoshop. And it doesn't mean that you can't use Lightroom. What I'm saying is your first processing needs to come with needs to be done with the software that came with the camera. Now, hey, okay, so here we go. Buy, buy, buy Camera Raw 11.1. Bye bye. Gone. Now, pull this up. From now on, this is what I'm going to use to process my images. And I'm going to tell you, it's not that hard. It's not hard to use. Okay, so here's the image itself. This is a test shot, before we got into the real deal here. So here's the images. I mean, here's the software I'm going to be using from now on. Now let me show you something. When you make the adjustments you need in this software, there's a button sitting there, and it's called Photoshop. When I'm done correcting and getting my image processed the way I want it, I'm going to then send it to Photoshop. And when you send it to Photoshop, it's going to send it to Photoshop in a TIFF file, but it's not going to take away the details. Nothing is going to go away. For some reason, when I go from here to Photoshop, Photoshop does not remove the details. It keeps it there. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't get it. But when you do it from Camera Raw, the details are gone. But when you do it, your raw files from the Digital Photo Professional 4 with my Canon 6D Mark II camera, when I hit Photoshop, it sends it to Photoshop exactly like I see it in the screen. Amazing. Amazing. So from now on, use the software. This software here is inside the camera. I'm going to prove it to you. Because see, let's say, now of course this is for shooting RAW. So I'm only talking about RAW. I'm not talking about shooting JPEG. I don't shoot JPEG in my camera. I use my camera like it's film. So if you were to, by mistake, had your picture style set to standard in your camera, this software remembers everything because it works. I mean, because it's the software that's in the camera. So it recognizes everything in the camera. So, oh man, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to shoot that in standard. Now I shoot my images in fine detail. You can make the changes right here. If you made a mistake, portrait, however, whatever mistake you made, you can change it. Okay. Now, me, when before I send my photos over, I like to give it that kind of that magazine kind of flat look. So I would go here to flash, Well, I'm sorry, not the flash. So here, the color temperature. Okay, and I would change my color temperature to 5100, and it's like a balance in colors to me. And the reason why I balance it like that, because when you're trying to send it off or you're trying to show it on screen, you're trying to do it on the web doesn't recognize all those colors, and when the web doesn't recognize colors, it makes your images look black, look a little darker on the web. So when you transfer something to the web, the definition to the web, if it doesn't recognize the color, the web automatically turns the color to black or some type of grayish color because it doesn't recognize those colors. So there's so many colors in your camera, but I kind of dropped the temperature down. I kind of balance it out for printing, and it balance it out for viewing online. Okay, so that's how I set my color, my temperature. But hey, even if you was photographing by mistake and you had it set to daylight, or you made a mistake and had it on cloudy, or you made a mistake and you had it on tungsten. It doesn't matter. You shot it raw. The software is like, oh, I know what you did. I matched the camera. You can make your changes. It'll be just like you took the picture over again. So see, you don't lose anything. Okay. Um, So going back to fine details, where I like to set it at right here. I mean, like I said, even if you messed up the picture style, I mean, just make the changes right here. All these settings are the same settings that's in the camera. Okay, right here, everything you do here just matches. I mean, sharpness, uh, the curves, all that, everything you want to do right here. This is the place to do it. This is the place to do it. Look. Telling you, man, it doesn't get any better than this. I've been doing this wrong for a long time. From now on, I'm going to process my images with the software that comes with the camera. There it is. Guys, the workflow is not hard. I mean, it took me, I had to learn it a little bit. No big deal. The workflow is not hard. I mean, all my images are here. It's not hard. It's not hard. What else I got here? You can make, I mean, if you don't want to see all those settings here, you can switch it. Okay, settings gone. But I like to see the settings. I mean, you can get a little bit more detail per image here. See? Things you don't really see in your Adobe up front. Okay? All these options, RAW, JPEG. I mean, it's all here. Let me go back here. That's why I like it. Um, and what makes it easy is I can grab, like, I can just click on this image here. You can double click it like that, and of course it'll kind of pop up out of the screen. That panel will just start floating. I don't recommend that. So the best thing to do is leave it here. Just click on the image you want to see, like that right there, and hit edit image, and it will stay pinned to the screen. It won't float. Just makes it easier for you to make your adjustments on this side. I mean, there's fine tuning and colors and all. I mean, everything you need is right there. Compositing, um, dual pixel raw. It's all there. You could save it if you wanted to in JPEG, TIFF, or whatever you want to do. The software is easy to work with. Okay, easy. Um, so there you have it. YouTube, the battle of the cameras is over. Photographers. Some of these guys are just good YouTube photographers with a lot of tech talk. That's all it is. And then I'm looking at the images, and everybody's image looks the same. No one's challenging There's no challenge on YouTube to step the game up. It seems like everybody is trying to make sure their pictures look like all the YouTube photographers. Now, I'm not here to bash the YouTube photographers. Their images do look great, but every new photographer I see coming, when he posts the image, it looks just like the other photographers. Show me a challenge. Photography is about creativity, not matching. Stop matching. Stop being like someone else. Be yourself. Um, don't let. I mean, if you produce an image, you like the way it looks. Don't let nobody change your game. They don't let anybody make you want to make your images look like them. This is all. This is about art. This is about creativity. Change the game. Show me something different. Create a challenge. I like to see something different where I say, "Oh man, that's cool." But if I keep going to YouTube, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I remember a guy. He did something just like that." Oh, you know what? The other guy images look just like that. Oh yeah, the other guy does his images just like the other guy edits just like that. Oh yeah, he edits. Everybody edit the same. I mean, come on. Show me a challenge. Let's do something different. Um, and the best thing to do when you buy a camera, buy the camera. Forget the commentary, the complaints. If it works for you, it works for you. That's how I've always worked, and you'll save yourself a ton of money doing it like that. So do what works for you. Create the challenge. Let's change the game. Let's let 2019 be something different than 2018. Okay? Hey, I'm Marcus Vitag. You can catch me on IG at Marcus Vitag. Well, just like that. I'm sorry. On IG, it's just like it's Marcus Vitog. Marcus Photog. Some people say it's Marcus Photo G, but it's Marcus Vitog. It's MarcusVitog.com. I own the Marcus Vitog all over. I mean, I got a license. I got the website. So look up Marcus Vitog. I'm gonna start this year. I'm gonna start adding a little bit more. Uh, Education with the videos and with the not education with the videos, but education with how I change some things up, how I use something different. Then I'm also gonna try to post. I'm gonna start posting up images that I use with my camera and settings that I use and how I adjust the light, what type of light source I use. Just how I made things different. And that's it. So this is a wrap. Let's bring this to a close, guys. This is Mark Todd. The game is over. The game is over. The details. If you want better image quality, use the software that comes with your camera. The end. Thank you guys for paying attention. I hope that this was a lesson that helped someone enhance their photography career. Um, Comment on the bottom. I'm always responding, so I shoot a lot, but I like to respond as well. If you had some better ideas about image quality processing than I do, let me know. I mean, I'm always learning. I always try to learn. I mean, I don't think I know it all. I would never know it all because once you know it all, it's time to go. All right. Other than that, guys, that's it. Martin Talk signing off.